Hi Kiwi, alright, we are back at another episode of Hades 1. Today we are going to be running the Aspect of Chaos because we haven't run that shield in a while. The way it works is we charge up our attack, unleash our special, and 5 different shields go flying. We are going to take the Ares Keepsake today with the goal of tossing out his special, which will drop doom chunks of doom on enemies, and hopefully we're just going to throw it out and enemies are just going to get walloped with a whole lot of damage at once. We're going to need 18 heat to meet our bounty. Damage control is pretty easy to meet, so I'll go ahead and take 1 level of that, I suppose. Let's take a couple levels of jury summons is fine. Actually, let's go 3 levels of jury summons, and I think that should be good. All right, so altogether, 3 levels of jury summons, 3 levels of extreme measures, maxing out benefits package, middle management, 1 level of damage control, and 1 level of tight deadline for a total of 18 heat. Let's go.
Bye, everyone.
All right, let's see if we get the Ares special on the start. Would be cool if him not to give that to us.
Good Mother Persephone, dread queen of the underworld. I certainly misjudged her when we had occasion to interact whilst she resided on Olympus. Perhaps I too should consider a life there in your realm.
Okay, so we've established that Ares is an edgelord, but him calling Persephone the dread queen of the underworld, that is like the most metal name she could have. Of course, he's gonna give us his lowest tier special, but we're gonna take it anyway. And we're just gonna watch enemies get melted by the dooms popping. There we go. All right.
Might as well.
This sort of build does not benefit much from chaos, but maybe we can get something good for the cast.
Master Chaos.
Hey, Nyx.
We are pleased to see you here, however briefly.
Or even just some HP up or higher boon rarity. I'll take those.
Son of Hades, I am pleased the goddess Nyx returned to me.
Let's see what we get. Special deals 44% more damage. Now here's the thing. The base damage on the special, especially of the Aspect of Chaos, is terrible. It's like 15 damage. So 44% more damage is what? Less than 5 more damage on that special? Yeah, it could add up if those shields bounce, but that's about it. I could reroll. I don't think it's worth it. So either I take that or I take the HP, which locks us out of using our special. I think I'm just going to take the special damage, though. We are running a special build. May as well get what little extra hits I can. But it's, trust me, it's really not that worth it. We'll see. Like, let's see what we get. If I do this, 1 hit from our special, yeah, does 15 damage. The Doom does substantially more. But the goal is to just... That's why with the Aspect of Chaos, you really need damage that does fixed numbers rather than percent modifiers on the special. So Ares and Dionysus and Zeus are all really good on the Chaos Shield because they don't make its damage scale up. They make it deal additional damage separate from its base numbers. So a Palm of Power or another Ares boon. I think I'll take the Ares boon because there are definitely things like, definitely some boons out there that could tier 2 stack on our special that I would like to see. As far as what other gods we want to see on this build, frankly, I don't know. Artemis is always a good chance, a good option because if our Doom procs crit, that'll do a whole lot of damage for us. Alternatively, I don't really know what else I'd want at that point, so we'll definitely take Artemis and let the fates decide what else we take. Blood Frenzy. After using a Death Defiance, deal more damage for that encounter. That's probably what I'm going to end up taking because I don't care about his attack. I don't care about his aid. Sure, Blood Frenzy it is. Will I even benefit from that? Probably not, realistically speaking. An early fountain chamber is always welcome. Now, something I should mention, we're gonna skip the shop here. There's no, we don't have enough coin to buy anything, and I'd rather farm some stuff up early by doing these rooms. Anyway, I just wanted to say, so I have recently just uploaded a New Year's video in honor of the channel anniversary, kind of just a reminiscence of things that I have shared with Kiwi, and that is a more personal video, so if it's not your cup of tea, by all means, skip it. But I did actually put a fair bit of effort into it. It was the first video that I ever did that had, well, it's a long-form edited video. I've done some short-form videos like Loren's Mug.mp4 and the Josh Drive-Haze GameCube intro, like little things and little edits across episodes, like in Lotus Lantern and the Pokemon playthrough and that sort of thing. But this was my first like long-form, Poseidon, or not Poseidon, Dionysus or another Palm on the special. I think I'll take the Palm just to guarantee that first, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, what I want to say about it is it was a fun video to make, and even if you're not interested in the video as a whole, there are definitely some scenes that are worth checking out. Namely, I mostly just want an excuse for people to see photos of my cat, so there are timestamps in the description and in the video bar itself, the timeline bar, I guess I'll call it. But you can skip to the section called cat photos and get some really awesome photos of my cats. And there's a nice little bonus cat surprise if you're interested at the very end of the episode in like the last 30 seconds of the video. So if you want to see my cats awkwardly dancing to RuneScape music, definitely give it a check out. I think I will at some point upload a separate video of just that clip of the cats dancing because it's just so funny to me. We're going to take the hammer here. I do think Demeter wouldn't be terrible in this build just because her chilled effect will make enemies slow and we can kite them more easily for a build where we're not really going to have the most amazing damage. Doom does a lot of damage, but you need to get a lot of things stacked up on it. Maybe, you know what? You know what gods I should choose? I'm gonna pop my head into the codex in a little bit, and we're gonna look at what gods give extra Doom damage. Probably the things to consider would be Aphrodite for her duo with Ares. Most certainly Artemis, not because she scales well with Doom directly, but because crits just make everything hurt more, including the Doom procs can get crit damage on them, of course. I suppose Poseidon and Aphrodite's duo, if we got more Palms of Power early, would be great, but I honestly think that Sweet Nectar is one of the worst duo boons in the game. Yeah, you get an extra level of Palm. Let's see, after your special hits, your attack does your next 2 attacks do more damage. Your special does 50 damage when it returns to you. I guess that's the only one that really benefits our special, so we'll take that. Sisyphus, or another Palm on the special. I think I'll take the Palm. Sisyphus is probably the better option. We're going to get some severe diminishing returns pretty soon, or already at this point, frankly. But the reason for it is, my inclination at this point is to think that if I get a good Eurydice pull, I could see a really high damage special potentially. Or maybe we'll get a trade. We'll get a god that pops in and is like, hey, you know that build you wanted to run? What if we did something entirely different? And it would probably not work nearly as well, but it could work nearly as well. And I'd be curious to see what that nearly as well is. Anyway, I digress. So that video, if you want to see some cute cat photos or some very silly kind of sometimes cursed cat photos, give it a check out. Aphrodite. We had mentioned Aphrodite as a potential option. Let's take a quick look at Ares' boons. Aphrodite is definitely one we'll take because what is it called? Curse of Longing. Yeah. Your Doom effects strike continuously against weak foes. So honestly, I think Passion Dash or her attack will be the best options for applying weak. Beyond that, Curse of Drowning isn't that great. Merciful End is great, but I don't think I'm going to make it work here without getting 2 really good Athena boons, so I'm not really sold on it. Your cast inflicts chill, but is smaller and that sounds lame. Vengeful Mood is whatever, hunting. So yeah, basically, Aphrodite is the only god for certain that I want to take, and then we'll figure out the rest later. Maybe I do take Dionysus and just go for damage off of his call. I could see a lot of damage coming off of Dionysus's call in this sort of a scenario. The issue with the sneak is he's going to teleport away before I can even get the Doom proc to hit him. So we're going to be depending on base damage here and probably a Sisyphus if he does another melee attack. Actually, you know what? A point blank special does a flat 50 right in his face, so that's the trick. Okay.
Who's left?
Love conquers everything. You see that, don't you, dearest?
Yes, Aphrodite, I certainly do. Ooh, she's offering us a very appealing attack. 99% base damage. That'll make our bull rushes chunky, but all we'll be using them for. We'll take the darkness here because, as always, we are still desperately farming for darkness. We're not even close to finishing out the mirror. We need a lot of darkness to do that. They were all generating shields so badly that I think that caused the game to lag briefly there. Oof. But I am enjoying this. This build seems to be very good against at least low HP enemies because they all get popped. The initial hit of the shield is blocked by damage control, but that doesn't matter when the actual damage from our special is the Ares effect after all. Seems to be melting most of these numbskulls, if nothing else. Yeah, I figured I'd at least briefly, shamelessly plug a video that I've wanted to do some more long-form content on this video. I've talked about it a little bit in other episodes, namely maybe like a Josh Strife Hayes inspired worst MMO ever of MMO that I have been playing for years, namely Dungeon Fighter Online. I've uploaded one video to this channel involving that, where I beat a super boss that is like the hardest boss this game has ever seen in some time, and soloing them, and that felt great. Because I had been practicing that boss for hours. It's rough. There are so many patterns you have to dodge. There's a lot of knowledge you need to make it work. And even then, sometimes RNG is just really mean and says, this is a pattern that here's your safe spot to dodge to, but here's a instant kill move that is in your safe spot. So pick your poison, get one shot by the other, one move or the other. Take the shop. I'll buy whatever god boon is here, even if it's a rando. I don't know what I want else for this build. Oh, hey, look who it is. Hey, Artemis, glad to see you. And, I could take any of her core boons to, what would that do? If I take a core boon, I'm setting myself up for a duo, but I don't have any duos I want from her at this point. We're already locked into Aphrodite. I guess Heart Rend would always be great. I think Pressure Points offers us more in the short term, so we'll take that for now, and we'll see what else we can get from Artemis later on. Well said, Charon. To you too. Oh, to Symphony. We haven't seen you in a while.
Murder.
Of course, Electo's right there, because Electo is such an attention hog, I have to say. Like, Electo, we've seen a lot of fights against Electo in these in the Fury fight lately. At least it feels that way. Maybe I'm mistaken. I think the best, like, single target damage we have is just standing point blank to an enemy, tossing the special, and then catching it. Because that, they take the extra 50 damage, and they get the Doom hit as well. Because the issue with the aspect of chaos on single target enemies is that the shields don't really bounce into those enemies very well. Unless you're like, see, we only hit her once there, I think. Yeah, so I think just spamming the special here is objectively the best DPS we have in the current situation that we're in. That said, not bad on our damage. Well, I guess it was a 6-minute Tartarus, not the fastest, but it's working.
Innocent.
Honestly, the reason the Tartarus is taking that long is just the 3 levels of jury summons, I think, but we seem well equipped to deal with jury summons right now with our current build.
Symphony has failed me, has she?
So,
Asphodel.
let's see, I think
My keepsakes.
I could force Aphrodite to try and find her duo with Ares. I could also take the Palm Blossom and just try to stack more levels on the special, but I feel like that's going to have some very severe diminishing returns, so that's probably not the best route. Alternatively, I try to get more crit chance, Hunter's Mark, and things of that nature. Realistically speaking, we need a core boon from Artemis, and that would best be her cast, I think, because that has a reliable crit chance. If I'm going to try and crit with anything. I think for now, though, best boon that we can get is probably from Aphrodite to really empower our Doom procs. Let's see. I don't want to sell anything here, right? Nope. No, I do not. And then here, nothing of particular interest. If we got a Light of Ixion, I'd roll for that. Again, the special damage is completely negligible. I'm looking for other things like HP, I think most beneficial for this run would be if Chaos gave us an increased boon rarity effect, because then we could see some stronger boons. Of course, boons from Hermes will always be great in any situation, especially if we can run a greater haste, rush delivery sort of combo. But yeah. Oh, Chaos. They always have such a sense of humor here. Yeah, so okay, our special is doing 44 damage a hit. That's not actually that terrible for the Chaos Shield. That's really not that terrible, because it usually is a lot lower. We saw that it started out at 15. I don't actually know where all those extra modifiers are coming from, but I'm not going to complain too much about them. Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid setup, because our Bull Rush is the core of our means of applying the Chaos Shield's effect. That applies weak, and then we can use their duo.
Stand there, cuz. Pick one of these and go.
I'm already going, Hermes. Don't you worry. Greater haste, a 30% increased move speed. That sets us up for a very juicy rush delivery if we can get it. I don't think I need more palms right now, so we'll go for another Aphrodite, see if we can roll their duo boon. All right, lots of witches. Not my favorite enemy to deal with in this build, but we just hold shield and they can't hit us, so I guess that's actually not that big a deal. Like, witches in higher heat, especially with forced overtime in a room like this, is rough. Their projectile is actually sometimes home, especially the ones in Tartarus. A witch's room in Tartarus, when they have the the splitting effect, where there are multiples that are spawning clones that die in 2 hits. Those are some of the roughest enemies in the early game. Oh my goodness, I dread those witch rooms in Tartarus. They can end a run almost immediately.
Olympus, I accept this message.
All right, no duo. Do I reroll? Let's confirm that I am in line for getting it in the first place. Let's see. Curse of Longing. So I could reroll here. I could wait for a higher rarity room and take one of her other things. Like, none of these are appealing.
Something else.
If you watched the last episode, you heard me go on a pretty long tangent about how I feel that Aphrodite has some of the worst overall boons from any of the god pool. And I stand by that. She is, let's say rough.
Charon's shot.
Her pool is rough. Demeter or I hold out. There's our Artemis. I think I'm gonna hold out. I wanna save my coin for potentially something else. And I would only be able to afford one boon in the end shop, which at this point, Ares, Artemis,
nothing.
or Aphrodite would all be better, I would say. All right, let's see what we can get here. It's gonna be the the Void Stone, right? Yep. All right, let's go ahead and.
Hello there, Prince.
Oh, good. I almost knocked him out of that with the Bull Rush, or knocked that stone out of the AOE with the Bull Rush. Good. But it bounced off the wall and ended up going back into it anyway. Our Doom just crit for 616 damage. Granted, it's a 3% crit chance, so it's really not that exciting, but damage is damage, and we're gonna be happy every time it happens. One more hit, and I think it's dead. There we go. Okay. A lot of damage, but now we should be able to clean up just easy. There we go. Okay, these guys are getting popped. Basically, ooh, yeah, some crits there. Okay, not bad at all.
Those wretched things harassing you throughout that underworld just won't give up, will they? Well, just keep killing them, I guess.
But anyway, I was talking about potential options for longer form content, but like I said, let's take True Shot here. It's a 10% crit chance, but we get a crit and then we apply Hunter's Mark. Or I take this higher rarity Hunter's Mark. I'm taking the Hunter's Mark. We'll get other.
Let's hunt some dead.
We'll likely get another chance to get Artemis's cast at some point. And because we're hitting so often, even if it is a 3% chance, we're likely going to proc a crit at some point, and then Hunter's Mark will get activated after that. So I think it's fine. Like, there was a crit right there, and there's Hunter's Mark to kind of seal the deal. Dooms are critting for 616 damage. I think this works fine. Anyway, so like I was saying, a worst MMO-inspired DFO coverage sort of thing, maybe the history of DFO a little bit, but more so just kind of exploring the game, what it is and what it means to me a little bit too. Because the thing about DFO is I love that game. I have played so much. It is a beautiful game for an altaholic like me who loves to run multiple different characters. Because there are over 60 subclasses in that game, and they all,
Not going to like this.
for the most part, play very different from each other, which makes it a lot of fun.
Uh-oh, somebody's going to be upset.
We did not get offered her cast. It really is not worth re-rolling here, so 15% more crit damage means virtually nothing, but it is more numbers if we crit on a Doom. I think Support Fire. Let's take Support Fire. It's funny.
A disappointing choice, my kin, and there are consequences to such choices every single time.
I think I can deal with those consequences.
Apologies, Lord Ares.
Did I almost call him Hermes? I definitely, like, oh my goodness. I don't know why. This seems to be an issue that I have inherited from my mother, and being around Kiwi, who, it's a double whammy. So my mother is just inherently terrible at names. Like, it is impressive to the degree of which she maintains her inability to get a person's name right by memory. Like, to the point where I kind of just wait for her to try and say someone's name and be like, wow, that was an inspiring attempt, if you will. Comparatively, Kiwi suffers from the issue where if multiple things have the same letter that they start with, they get mixed up in her brain, and I have inherited that from her, I think, because I never used to do that, and I like, obviously, it's a me problem, it's not her fault at all, but, you know, why take accountability for my own shortcomings when I can blame someone else for everything? Mom, I definitely inherited something from, like, I think I inherited her ADHD just as much, although she'll never admit that she has it.
You crossed the fields of death impressively back there. Though you are fortunate I'm in a giving mood.
Regardless, I just am struggling with the names in this game for some reason. Alright, Slicing Shot, Curse of Vengeance, and there it is, Impending Doom. Your Doom effects deal more damage, but take an extra half second to activate, but that's a 60% damage steroid. That's pretty juicy. Sadly, we are not seeing the Eurydice on this run. We're going to take the shop, because I didn't check our coin. I hopefully have enough. Actually, I didn't buy the Demeter earlier. I definitely have enough coin. Aphrodite, what have you got?
Cheers, mate.
Duo boon, excellent.
I think for many of us, dearest, it can come as a surprise to learn that love and war often go hand in hand. Opposite forces, yet this connects them, doesn't it? The fiercest passions of gods and mortals. Isn't that right, Lord Ares?
Mortals are so bent on clinging to their lives that many of them would gladly kill for it. The surge of emotion which they feel, one passion is no different from another, Lady Aphrodite, dear.
I knew that they were going to give the duo there because they, there was a longer pause than just immediately going to the menu with all the options or for boons. So that's why I knew there was a duo there.
If only you knew just how I feel, Ernie.
Yes. So what that means is now any enemy that is weak afflicted will continuously take 50% of our maximum doom damage. So we're just constantly ticking 140 damage, it looks like. Not bad. That should make melting rooms much easier. The only issue is we need to make sure that we tag enemies with our bull rush, which is a sizable AoE, so it's really not that hard to manage. And it basically means I can apply a damage over a time effect on them, and they're just gonna die whether I'm looking at them or not. The best option here would likely be hunting for the Aphrodite boon that gives I think it's a 10-second duration extension on Doom. But now we can kind of just be like the cool guy who doesn't look at explosions, or doesn't look at their enemies' impending doom, I suppose. What other long-form content would I want to do? I think I've talked about this a little bit. There was a running theory, I think I talked about it in actually a previous Hades episode, but I was thinking about maybe doing some like deep dives into One Piece a little bit, just because I genuinely love that series and want to share it with Kiwi. Some manhwa I've read recently that I want to kind of delve into, like the Greatest Estate Developer. I talked a fair bit about that in some episode. It may have been Lotus Lantern again. I don't remember for certain, but it is. That was one of my favorite manhwa. But more immediately, for certain, the thing long form that I'm going to do is...
That's all the heads.
Basically what I did with the video most recently with the recap of 2024 with Kiwi, but a more personal view, like what was my favorite things that I didn't share with Kiwi, what was my favorite manhwa, what was my favorite anime that wasn't on my top 3 list in that video, things like that. And also, probably more importantly, looking back at this channel and what a year of YouTube involves and was like. We'll take Aphrodite's keepsake here, I think. More crit chance. Setting ourselves up for more crit chance is probably our best DPS buff at this point. We'll take it whatever fourth god is offered to us. I don't really care. They're not going to really fit into this build. Aside from maybe Dionysus's Call getting comboed with Curse of Nausea with their duo, Dionysus Ares duo. But beyond that, I don't think there are really many things that I can think that I need further on this build aside from just more damage on Doom. We've already locked ourselves out a merciful end by taking Aphrodite's attack, and I'm fine with that, honestly. Anyway, so I pressed A. I did actually press the button. I just pressed the wrong button. Honestly, between these 3 options, I'm going for the Erebus Gate. Let's try and take this Hermes. Means I'll have to play super safe, but I think I can afford to with this sort of build.
My wretches have come to collect.
So I'll just kind of keep a distance from everything and let the Doom do its job. Ooh, a Mega Gorgon head, that's not great. Also, Chaos, Void Stones. At least I don't have to worry about the Void Stones dealing damage, but the issue is they're going to make everything else not be able to get hit. I think we're fine, though, honestly. Just keep my distance from the enemies that could be a problem, and use my AoE beyond that. Yeah, look at that, we're fine. Wouldn't be the first time that I said we're fine and then got clipped by the Mega Gorgon, though. But there we go, Doom finished her off. 3 Hermes, excellent.
Phew.
All right, we're gonna reroll for Rush Delivery here, of course, because more damage on Doom always sounds like a good option. So let's go ahead and reroll.
Any other boons for me?
Flurry cast Rush Delivery 75%. Okay, so that is that's gonna be some nice extra damage for us there. Awesome. All right, let's see. I'll take the Darkness. Rerolls on the keys are nice, but I think the Darkness is... I don't think we really need to have anything we specifically want to reroll for here anyway. So we'll just go for meta progression as always. Anyway, so yeah, I'm definitely planning... I mentioned it in the actual video that I'm referring to, that I'm planning one more big long-form video at minimum, hopefully by the end of January, but whenever I get around to it, because frankly... free time is best spent with Kiwi. Let's be honest, that's kind of the whole point of my life at this point. Or the whole point of this channel, right? This channel is for Kiwi, after all.
Sure.
I don't know why I said that like a question. It was, the intonation was off. This channel is for Kiwi first and foremost, so it is what it is. And that is a really weird Christmas present that means a lot to both of us at this point, because at the end of the day, I acknowledge that this is kind of a present to myself as well. It gave me a passion project to work on and produce, and it has been an amazing outlet for creativity, but it is something that I can constantly give to Kiwi. Like, I can constantly produce things that will make her smile, make her laugh, help her fall asleep, which was kind of the goal of this channel in its inception. And you know, it's been just such a fun journey. So like reflecting on part of that was an arrow that was just spinning in circles there. Don't know if you saw it. I was circling the chariot. If you rewind a little bit, looked very silly. Zeus out of nowhere, not interested. I'll take this Artemis boon, please. More crit chance for Jeff, gladly. And a Thanatos. This was the right room.
I'd find you here.
Any room with Thanatos in it is the right room.
We'll have to catch up at some other time, though good to see you anyway.
Also, just have to say the amount of thirst for Hades characters when the character models for Hades 2 came out, oh my goodness, the internet thirst was relentless, and I'm sure that was an issue with the original game too. I wasn't paying attention to. I wasn't really present on YouTube in the way that I am now to notice that sort of content creation. But my goodness, people are thirsty for Hades characters, and rightly so. The character designs are definitely what's the word? Conventionally attractive, to say the least. But conventional attraction is overrated. Anyway, but yeah, there are a lot of things I want to talk about from this year that weren't covered in the recap with Kiwi video. I think Triple S rank, Suicide Hunter, and the Greatest Estate Developer, I want to talk more about those for sure on this channel. I had such a great time reading those. The Greatest Estate Developer is probably the single piece of media that made me laugh the hardest outside of anything that Doug produced, because I mean, it's Doug. Doug is, like, between Doug and his chat, I have gotten so many laughs. But like, definitely content creator, Doug takes the cake for me this year. Watched most of their content. YouTube, oh, fully loaded? We set ourselves up for that. I have no reason to take this over Hunter. Oh, well, we took Hunter's Mark, right? We've already got Hunter's Mark. We've got pressure points. We just need something that gives us crit chance. I would have much preferred her cast, but I guess we'll take fully loaded just because, hey, it's a fun end slate photo. Completely irrelevant to our build, though. We don't even have a cast worth using. Oh, well. Did you drop your heart somewhere, or did I already pick it up? I must have already picked it up. Poseidon. Does Poseidon offer us anything of value? Really, no. Yeah, I got nothing from Poseidon. Although I guess I could go a late Mirage shot for whatever cast I end up taking at the end of the day. I still don't think it's worth it. And since I want to take Aphrodite or Artemis's cast, it feels even less worth it. Oh, you know what? That last run that we ran, Crush Shot with Mirage Shot would have been pretty... I didn't even think about that. We could have gotten Mirage Shot.
You're quick, short one. Let's see if you can get past me again.
Oh well, RNG deemed it unnecessary, so we never got it. But that would have been actually a way to make even more damage happen on the Aphrodite Crush Shot build. Oh well, I think we're fine. But you know what? I've been forgetting to use Sisyphus. I should pop one here while I can. Grab my HP. Probably only needed to grab one or two of them. I was pretty close to full HP anyway. Can I kite him through these? Yeah, I knew it. I knew he would get caught on them. That's cute. So we established before that my best DPS option is likely just spamming special point blank, right? Ooh, Doom crit for 734. Nice. But yeah, so those are plans for the future. How soon and when I actually get them to be produced, we'll see. But I've got more of the same and more of the new on this channel. For now, we're going to stick to playing Signalis and Pokemon Shining Pearl. I've got Return of the Obra Dinn kind of in the works, and I'm very much in the mood to play Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda at some point.
It appears that you are moving right along, almost at an uncanny pace. I wonder how you got to be so fast. Aquatic exercise?
But I think the next big playthrough following Sunken Treasure, Ocean's Bounty, Tidal Dash. Tidal Dash could work, and since I'm not set on taking his cast, yeah, well, I don't know, I kind of want to take Ocean's Bounty just because I think that's the thing I'm going to benefit from the most at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna take Ocean's Bounty. It's boring. It's the boring option, but it gives us more resources. We'll hopefully be able to afford a Titan Blood at the end of this run, or some fun boons that could set us up for other like build path items options. Anyway, I completely lost my train of thought in typical fashion. Like I said before, I definitely have some form of ADHD, but that doesn't really matter here. It's fun. It lets me kind of flip back and forth. I'm really good at adapting, if nothing else, but it makes it hard for me to focus on one task, which, you know, is how it is. I manage. I've found great coping mechanisms for that, like Hypnos, in fact. I love my to-do lists. To-do lists help keep me focused, and I promise myself that I will not do a different task unless there's an emergency until that current task that is in progress is done. Anyway, where was I? Where was I? I don't know. Oh, the next big game that I definitely think at some point is going to happen on this channel, though, it's going to be, let's see, what is more damage? 20%. I'm really just like leaving a cliffhanger here, aren't I? 9 Sol. I'll just say 9 Sol, and then I'll talk about more of that in a minute. So this would be 14 more damage here versus 80% of 140. I think the 80% damage is more, right? Right? Should be. I'm doing it. I'm taking it. I think that gives me more damage. And we'll take another palm. Sure, I don't need HP. Anyway, 9 Sol has been on my list since the day I saw a trailer for it, which was relatively close to its release. But I looked at it and I'm like, this aesthetic, this, what is it, Tau Punk, I think they call it, the creator called it, a mixture of Taoist culture and kind of steampunk vibe. Really cool idea. Don't get to see that very much often done at all. So very interesting aesthetic. But also, it looks like a parry-focused Hollow Knight. And that sounds like absolutely my cup of tea, because I'm definitely more focused. I prefer dodge-focused combat, but parry-focused combat can work for me. Are you gonna? Okay, good. Like, I wasn't sure I could hit that, and it looked like it was clipped through the wall there. Would have been an awkward way to like force a reset on the run. We are just spreading damage and Hunter's Marks on all of these enemies, and you know what? This build is working really well. Hunter's Mark comboed with crit chance from Ares. Like I said, we get 1 crit from pressure points, and everything in the room is going to get crit after that. Works for me. Okay. I mean, it winds down once you get down to fewer enemies, but while the room is full, works really well. Speaking of which, we'll take another damage onto that Impending Doom. 1% crit chance seems better to the option. Not a lot to gain from Patroclus, so we'll go take our hammer here and see if we can get another special enhancer.
Should put some
Dash
extra
strike,
punch
bull
into
shot.
this shield.
Okay, after your special hits, your next 2 attacks deal 80% damage. I don't know. I would assume that technically affects the bull rush, so we'll take that. But nothing that actually benefits the special there, sadly. We'll take the shop here, see what we were offered. Not really hunting for any god in particular at this point, but let's see what we get.
Oh, good. We meet again.
We do. All right. None of this is what I want. So we'll just take Dying Lament and sell it later, I guess. Like I said before, and I will say again and again, Aphrodite gives you 1 or 2 good boons and a good duo, and then she is dead in the water.
You stop right there, blackguard, and make your plans for death.
Well, if you insist, my plans for death are you two. You two are death. You two are going to die. Thanatos is death, actually. Basically, as long as I keep these guys tagged, even if Theseus wanders off to wherever he feels like he's going to go, we just keep popping crit after crit. Like, oh my goodness, we're already halfway done with the Minotaur. Look at that. Yeah, I just need to make sure that if they're consistently tagged with weak, then they will take doom damage even if I'm not focusing them down. And all of the things that can get crit chance, because pressure point affects all forms of damage as far as I'm aware, or if not all, pretty much most. I'm just constantly bouncing Hunter's Mark between them. Here, have a bolty. Unfortunately, he's kind of sitting in the middle of that, and now I can't actually hit him reliably with my special, potentially. Seems like I'm still tagging him a little bit. Oh, my goodness, that was a hit. Ooh, the double kill. That was cool. Okay, I like this build. I don't think I've actually ever run...
Got them again, my shade.
I don't think I've ever actually run the Ares special on the Chaos Shield before, but I like this. This works. I jive with this build. Okay. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like, I've used Dionysus, I've used Zeus, I don't think I've ever done a Sea Storm build with this, or no, I definitely have, right? No, I've done a Sea Storm. I've done a Sea Storm build with Aspect of Chiron on the bow. You know what? That's going to be the next run. We're going to take Poseidon Special, get a Zeus Boon, and get Sea Storm, and see how that runs on Aspect of Chaos next time we run the shield. That's the plan. I will probably forget it, but if I remember, or if I'm in the mood, that's the plan. All right, so what's going to be our final keepsake for this floor? I could go Distant Memory, or I could do, I could do Skull Earring, 40% damage if I let myself get low. That could work, because that affects all sources of damage, including our Doom damage. Can I stay low and keep myself low without dying? We've proven before that that's not likely, but also I do have the 15% damage steroid for losing a Death Defiance, so I'm willing to risk it. Let's do it. Let's take Skull Earring here. Anything to sell? I mean, Support Fire is another hit that gives us a chance of critting, so I'm going to keep it. Technically, it's not going to be the bulk of our damage, but it is damage. All right, let's
That was Elysium.
pop up here. Goal on this floor is buy a Titan Blood if we can afford it. If we're offered a diamond, oh well, I'll probably ignore it. And we can put our coins towards something else. If we get offered a third Hermes Boon, that would be awesome because we could potentially get even more damage for Rush Delivery that way. If we get like Hyper Sprint, or I think there's one more that can affect Rush Delivery. Let's see. We're offered an Anvil. Could try and trade that for better special boons. Probably won't get them. We are offered the diamond here, so I think I'm not that interested in buying a diamond here. Artemis and Ares are definitely boons to aim for. Could also go Poseidon. I think I have their duo, right? Yeah, I have Curse of Longing, and that's about all I need. Heartrend could be good, but I still don't have an Artemis.
I'll take it.
All right, let's take this damage steroid on Impending Doom. We now deal 105% more damage with each proc of Doom. We'll do this Artemis room and see if we can finally get a core boon, which I may re-roll for just for the sake of potentially getting it better. But then we can try and roll for Heartrend with the Aphrodite boon that's in the shop. And that'll be our plan. Yeah, I think that'll work well. Like, oof. If I hadn't gotten hit by that guillotine, I would have been like, this room went really well. This is a very satisfying room to run. Lots of low HP enemies getting popped immediately. Like, our DPS is kind of wild. There is actually a mod that lets you see the damage numbers or your DPS. I've considered maybe downloading that one just for the sake of seeing that and like getting a sense of like what are our numbers actually equating to. Like, it looks and feels good, but is it actually adding up to something meaningful? Probably the best metric. Like, the issue is on a boss, yeah, you can get a sense of what your DPS is because you can just watch their HP bar get shredded, but it doesn't work so well in these rooms where they don't have a giant bar over the top that tells you this is your percent completion, or like if this was a total HP of all the enemies in the room, this is how close they are to death now. Gotta watch out for these poison pools. I'm very prone to running into them. Anyway, I guess one thing worth mentioning is, like, for those who are listening in, if there is something you're interested in hearing me talk about, an anime, a manhwa, a manga, any sort of media, I'm not super big on live action, but if it's a live action that's really popular, I'd be willing to give it a try. Like, I've watched Breaking Bad, I've watched Better Call Saul, I'm partway through Stranger Things. Those are kind of the big things. I'm gonna watch Squid Game at some point. That seems really up my alley. All right, no, let's see. All right, we wanted her cast to more reliably potentially get a crit, or I could take her aid. 35% crit chance means it's likely to crit. We were making an argument for other, well, I guess we're not taking Dionysus, so I think her cast is probably the most reliable option, so we'll take that. Just because I'm not going to get to use her cast or her call very often.
I'm back.
All right, so we have a core boon with her, so now we can take that. Let's take this Aphrodite boon and see if we get Heartrend. Reroll once, and
about a different set of choices?
we did not get it. But we did get your weak effects have a longer duration, which means we got the really good synergy with Curse of Longing, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Let's go ahead and take the coin here, see what we can afford in the shop afterwards. Or actually, you know what? We're going to take the palm. Oh, you know what? I missed that. There's an Ares room over there that could give us a little bit more on our Doom. I think if you apply Doom multiple times, you get more damage. So, forgive me for not noticing that. We will do a bonus room if this is the Satyr Sack chamber, or if this has the Satyr Sack, just because I think it's worth it. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to hear me ramble about, like, I'm open to having discussion topics for these sorts of videos, even if it's not a long form video, just having a something to talk about on the channel while I'm running Hades or running Signalis when I'm not having genuine panic attacks or getting jump scared out the wazoo. Like, I'm very open to, like, I have to say, if you're listening to this, like, I read every comment. I may not respond to every comment, but I love reading comments. I kind of look forward to it every morning. I'm like, ooh, did I get any comments today? And when I see them, like, sometimes they're educational. Like, there have been people who have chimed in on this playthrough and been like, hey, did you know that Artemis's legendary, you can't get it without taking two other, like, prerequisite boons? And somehow I hadn't noticed that. The person who told me that, the first person who told me that you cannot get duo boons in trial rooms, that was a huge, that was pretty huge bit of learning for me too.
It's no use.
Like I appreciate advice. I also just appreciate discussion, questions, weird things to say, and I'm not gonna ask for you to comment. Like, comment if you want to. I'm not. This channel is not for monetization. This channel is not for anything other than passion projects, discussions about things that I shared with Kiwi and Kiwi's entertainment. But I do acknowledge I've got a small subscriber base now, and it would be remiss of me not to say, hey, if you want to engage in the content, I certainly get excited by it. And at the end of the day, I have to acknowledge that this video is not the sort of video that I'm actively pursuing growth on. If you come to enjoy my content, I really appreciate that. But I'm not like actively hunting for algorithmic, trend following, you know, I'm not like pursuing the YouTube algorithm. I'm not asking people to like, favorite, subscribe, whatever that nonsense is. Click the bell and the notifications or whatever. Do it if you want. That's all I'll say, and this will probably be the only episode you hear me say this for some time. Do it if you want. I appreciate the sentiment. And beyond that, hey, if you're enjoying what I'm doing, whether you comment or not, I appreciate the enjoyment. Even if it's just a 5-minute little bit of, hey, I wanted to see how this build looked. It wasn't for me, but I appreciate the notion of it. And then you click off the video. Cool. Thanks for that. Thanks for that brief engagement. Thanks for briefly humoring me and being entertained.
Storage chamber.
Potentially. Like, I won't. Oh, we're getting another duo? No, we're not. Okay. Curse of Vengeance after taking damage? No. I mean, I have one reroll. None of these are super exciting to me. Let's see what we get.
Got anything else?
Ares Age, Battle Rage, Urge to Kill. All right. Well, this is more damage. 10% more damage on special, I guess. Doesn't affect the Doom, but we'll take it.
Hope this can get me out of here.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go ahead and re-roll let's take this hammer, see what we lose.
What's it going to be?
Powering Flight, Dashing Flight, and Breaching Rush. Powering Flight, I think, might actually be good. Hold on. Halting, Flourish. Dashing Flight. During your dash, your special is faster and deals 200% more damage. That's really not that exciting. Breaching Rush. Your Bull Rush deals 400% damage to armor. Did we lose the one that explodes? I don't think we did. I don't know where it is. There it is. Your special, yeah, okay, so nothing too crazy, but nothing too bad either. Dashing Flight might be good. It's just, the description isn't super clear to me on how it works. Well, let's go ahead and round this out. Take out Hades and call it a day.
Deliberating briefly, Cerberus concludes that yes, he shall accept the sack.
I think part of the reason why I'm not like super motivated to like build this channel is because
I owe you one, boy.
I don't, this is never going to be my job. It would be cool if it was, but I have a pretty great job, all things considered, and I think that's where my future lies. YouTube, I want to be a creative.
Keep you from your parchment work.
I want YouTube to be a creative outlet for my passion projects when I feel like I want to do them.
You no quarter, boy. Although I doubt that you expected otherwise.
Yeah, I expect a nickel. Sorry, bad jokes aside. I don't want to turn this into more of a job than it needs to be, and it shouldn't need to be at all. Like, I set a benchmark goal for 1 year. I would upload one YouTube video a day for a full year, and I damn well accomplished that. I missed 2 days, and I have enough episodes on this channel to probably like say, okay, well, I missed a day, but I actually had recorded the episode, I just forgot to upload it, or I didn't get it. I recorded the episode, I just didn't upload it in time, or it was too busy rendering, and so it the next day rolled over. There was only one day I genuinely forgot, and it was because I was neck deep into work and just didn't have like the mental capacity to remember everything I was responsible for outside of that work. But
my authority as Lord of Death, Awaken, wretches.
The second
Your king.
The second time I forgot to upload was legitimately the video was rendering or was done rendering and was uploading to YouTube. It just didn't get uploaded before the day rolled over because it was such a long video. It was a Hades run, and these Hades runs take like 3 hours or so to upload sometimes, or it depends. If I'm uploading too many videos at once, and that might have been the mistake I made, they kind of get locked into YouTube wanting to upload every video at the same time. And
Can't kill me.
so it was an unfortunately avoidable situation that I kind of messed up on my own. It was my fault that it didn't get uploaded for sure, but it was recorded, so I still held true to that. So you know what? I'm really proud of what I've accomplished on this channel, but like, I don't know if I really want what comes with being a popular, heavily viewed channel. I enjoy reading comments, but like negativity on the internet is terrifying, and I think I've only had like one genuinely like really mean comment in the entirety of this channel. It was on one of my Pokemon episodes, but it was so like just unnecessarily cruel that I deleted it and banned the guy from the channel. And I'm fine with that because I don't need that level of toxicity in my life. But I still think about that comment, and I'm just like why would someone want to say this to another human being?
What shall it take for you to?
Honestly, it's the reason why I started.
Cannot remain.
It's the reason why I started taking breaks from the Pokemon Shining Pearl playthrough, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm forgetting the purpose of this channel is to entertain Kiwi, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I want that engagement. I want to build this channel. Like I was humoring those thoughts, and like the Pokemon videos clearly are not performing. Pretty much everything that's not Hades is not performing well relative to the Hades videos, and I acknowledge that this has kind of become a Hades channel, but I have never intended for it to be or stay a Hades channel. There will come a time when I run out of energy to play Hades. I'm not there yet. I'm not even close to there yet. But there will come a day where I want to switch into other content because I don't want to be beholden to one series. This is meant to be a Let's Play channel where I do a bunch of different games, and maintaining an every other day Hades episode right now is easy, but I do fear that there will come a time where I burn out, and I don't want to burn out. I want to continue to enjoy creating, and I can't do that if I feel like I am locked in to meeting the demands of a singular audience that isn't Kiwi, who, while I appreciate, again, I wholeheartedly appreciate their enjoyment of this content. At the end of the day, this is a channel for Kiwi, and it always has been. All right, I think that's our end screen. So we're at 65 win streaks. We're almost at 90. We're almost at a solid 100 clears. That's pretty crazy. Twin Fist is the only weapon that has not cleared 32 heat. I should consider that. I have a funny idea that I'm humoring on what I'll do to clear 32 heat with the Twin Fists, but I'll save that for the episode when it happens. Just look forward to a very making things unnecessarily difficult for myself sort of run, I imagine.
As he journeys to his mother's cottage in the cold, loudly speaking Zagreus calls out to hear the echo of his voice. The blast of sound, causing a substantive amount of ice and snow to break off from a nearby mountaintop and fall, and fall, and...
But what I was saying about the Pokemon series is it doesn't perform nearly as well as Hades. And I was like in that moment feeling, well, maybe I should just drop it and focus on Hades, kind of forgetting the point of the channel for a moment.
Thank you, everyone. You're too kind.
Right at that time, or maybe even not focus on Hades, but play a different game.
You could do it.
Do something different. And then I get that really mean comment.
Your back, no matter what.
And it was like, just, okay, you know what?
Time.
This is a time to take a break from Pokemon. I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling burnt out.
What are these shades up to now?
I guess I should get back in line at some point. Cause of death, feasting. Good way to die.
Than, you don't hold a grudge against old Sisyphus, do you? He seems rather apprehensive about you. I understand you met not on the best of terms.
He is a brazen one, I have to give him that. I hadn't realized that you were close. Despite some questionable choices on your part, I don't think you're the poorest judge of character. And so, maybe I have him wrong.
I think you do, Than. He made mistakes in life, but he has definitely turned himself around in the afterlife.
I only have a faint impression of the man he used to be, although it seems he's changed a lot since then. Thank you for understanding anyway.
But so the burnout comboed with the mean comment was enough to kind of be like, okay, time to switch gears, do something different.
Do give yourself a break from time to time.
But then I realized, what is the point of this channel?
Everybody knows exactly how to give you pets and live to tell of it, right, boy?
The point of this channel is to help Kiwi fall asleep, to provide things that she enjoys and things that I want to do as well, my little passion projects, like I said. It's not about getting the most views or the most watch time or engagement.
Cerberus is comfortably at rest, observing all.
And with that realization, I realized...
Let us discuss your work performance at some other time.
I'm going to do whatever the hell I want on this channel, and I'm going to enjoy it. Screw the numbers. I don't need them.
Hello, Zagreus. How wonderful to see you once again.
And that is fine. That is what this channel is for. It's not for anyone other than Kiwi and I. I will always be very happy for comments, always happy to see view numbers increase. It's a dopamine rush like no other when it comes to that sort of algorithmic nonsense. But if a video gets 0 views, aside from the 1 view Kiwi gives or the 1 view I do reviewing it after the fact, so be it. I'm proud of what I've accomplished on this channel. I am learning how to edit videos, how to balance audio, how to make silly clips. And that's all it needs to be. And I'm fine with that. I really am.
This next year, do I want my job again? More than anything, this job, it means everything to me. I mean, working with you are the night itself. This place and all of you, all of it, it's so amazing to me. And I want to help. Just give me one more chance.
Your one more chance has certain stipulations, Dusa. If you think it is necessary to exceed the allotted time for your responsibilities, I expect you to ask. You are not the sole bearer of this house's fate. Your temperament toward your work is as important as the end result. Now then, I would ask that you return to your post.
How poetically appropriate that we get that line after my little ramble. Your temperament toward your work is as important as the end result. I think that is probably the most important takeaway.
What? Miss Nix, you mean, like, start right now? Now? I mean, I don't have a lot of pressing obligations, so I'll do it. Yes, I accept. I'm so excited to be back. Where do I even start? I can survey the lounge, sweep the cobwebs, walk Cerberus, check the pantry. Okay, I'm off.
Do your best work.
But don't exceed your limitations. Hooray, Dusa is back. That is awesome. But yeah, I think that is the best way to summarize what I'm trying to say. My end results, I'm happy with what they produce. The numbers, the comments, the engagement between, well, the enjoyment between Kiwi and I and anyone else who tunes in.
Skelemius.
But I don't want to...
Maybe this one. Coronact.
Do anything other than enjoy my time on this channel. I'm not going to make it a job. I'm not going to overproduce things for the sake of... I don't know how to phrase this, but basically, this channel is something for Kiwi and I to share. Anyone else who tunes in, again, I appreciate you beyond belief. But I'm not going to go out of my way to hunt for views and ask for algorithmic engagement. And I'm okay with that. If I want to make a YouTube channel that I'm actively trying to grow, I'll do that. But as we slowly accumulate subscribers, it's still going to give me that dopamine rush. It never won't. Looks like we'll be running the bow next run, Kiwi. This has gone a little bit more deep dive into my heart of hearts, I suppose, than I meant it to, but I think it's important to acknowledge. We've come a long way in a year, and I'm so proud and thankful for everyone who has tuned in, and I don't want to downplay that at all. But there's still so much to do.
And we're back.
And I'm looking forward to it. So with all that said, Kiwi, and to anyone else who's listening, I hope this is helping you fall asleep, and if you're awake, I hope you're sleeping well. Kiwi specifically, I love you, and to my viewers, I love you too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.
Right in the pelvis. Oof.